everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the iBytes podcast. I am your host, Daniel. And with me, as always, my good friend, the Ellie to my Joel, Sajadeep. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing well. How are you doing, Dan?
Not bad, not bad. It's been a while since we did another episode, so we decided to do another one. And a couple of things. It's not going to be a long one today. It's just a couple of little items and stuff that we bought recently. But what's new with you, man? What have you been up to?
Actually, before you asked me if you want to record a podcast, I was actually recording a YouTube video that I've been talking about. I'm gonna be uploading and I've been slacking off a little bit, and I was working on one, and you interrupted me, and now we're gonna delay it for another month now. Yay.
Well, you see, what happened is you keep saying that you're gonna do YouTube videos, and you never do them, and I just figured that you keep saying that because it gives you an excuse to spend money on new toys. Because I know you said you bought a new iPad and it wasn't big enough, so you bought the bigger one, and I told you can return the smaller one to me. Send it to me, man. As a gift. Just since you're so generous, just send it my way. That'd be nice.
The problem is, I'm actually gonna return the bigger one too.
Oh, come on, really?
And what I did, because I was doing some comparisons back and forth on the Amazon app, and the iPad Air is $1,000.
Okay.
And on Amazon anyway, there's still the M1 iPad Pro 11-inch for the same damn price.
Okay.
So I'm like, you know what? The 12.9-inch, I bought a controller for my drone. I bought a adapter thing, that way you can mount a tablet to the controller.
Yeah.
I use my iPhone S7 Plus screen, but it's kind of small. I wish I could have something bigger. So I bought that adapter, hoping that the 12.9-inch would fit in there. It doesn't. So I'm like, you know what? I kind of like the mount because I don't have to disassemble it and put it away.
Yeah.
It just folds right onto the controller, and it's flat. It's nice. So I'm gonna go back and return the M2 iPads because I bought two of them. I was going to buy the 12.9-inch, but I accidentally bought the 11-inch without even knowing. When I showed up, I'm like, why is the box so small? When I open it, oh wait, hold on, this is 11-inch. And I go back and return that one and buy the 12.9-inch, and then I'm like, hold on, this one doesn't fit on the controller. Let me go back to the 11-inch, but this time I'm gonna go get the M1 version because it's the same price as the iPad Air.
See, you got way too much disposable income. It's like buying iPads left and right. I wish I had that kind of cash.
Yeah, because right now I have 3 iPads at home.
Oh my gosh, 3 iPads for real?
Yeah, I do.
I don't even have one.
I'm going to have to return.
I got a lot of people that like their iPads,
Yeah, there was one. I went to a wedding. Was it a wedding? I can't remember if it was a wedding.
It wasn't your own?
No. Not yet.
Still too young for that.
Actually, I don't know. But
you're still young. You're in your 20s, man. You're still young.
Yeah, I know. I'm still young, but who knows? But like
now me, it's depressing because I'm in my 40s and I'm still single. So it's like that's depressing.
You'll find someone. Never too late. Never too late.
Yeah, I was hoping.
Never too late. So I wanted to just say. I forgot I lost my train of thought.
Talking about your iPads, you had 3. You went to a wedding, and you.
Wedding. Okay, yeah. So what happened was they wanted to. The DJ wanted to play a game with adults. It was an adult game. It wasn't a kids game. They specifically told. He said, "Kids, you will get really mad at this. Don't play." Okay, so basically. He made people take off their ties or do this, do that. Nothing too extreme or anything. And said you'll get a gift in the end. Okay. Right? Or no, you'll get an iPad in the end. Sorry.
Really?
Yeah. And what this guy
I'm going to the wrong weddings.
The thing is, what he did. The reason why he was saying that this is not for kids. The team who won basically said, okay, hey, your iPad. He literally just put a pad on his eye and called it a day.
Oh, jeez.
I know. It was so bad.
Oh, I would have been, are you effing kidding me?
I know. I was sitting over there. I'm like, oh my God. I'm glad I didn't freaking play because.
You could have had a notepad with a big letter I on it. Look, it's an iPad.
Oh my God, it was so bad. I'm like, oh man.
So are you returning them both, or are you gonna keep one? Or
I'm gonna keep one, return two.
okay, return two. Wait a minute, you got 3 of them?
Yeah, I have 3 of them.
Oh my goodness, man!
I have 2 11 inches, one with the M2.
My
and
goodness.
One,
I'm just saying, if you want to get rid of the one and a really good one, just send it my way. I'll take it. I don't mind.
Okay, I'll ship it out to you.
I'm poor. I can't afford these iPads.
I'll give you the iPad that was given.
No, not the one from the wedding. I want that one. But other than that, nothing new, nothing else. So now with the iPad, you're going to start doing YouTube videos now.
Yeah, the reason why I bought the iPad was for viewfinder, because I have my monitor and I can screen mirror my phone to my MacBook and use my Pro Display XDR, mirroring it. But what happens is the phone gets so hot and it disconnects.
Okay.
And I can't record. I'm like, oh, that sucks. So with the iPad, there's an app called, or at least on the phone and the iPad, called Filmic Pro. Mm-hmm. And they have another app called Filmic Remote, so you can remotely control one phone's camera with your iPad or another phone.
Interesting.
And that way I can see the viewfinder and I can use the iPad and whatnot. And I was currently working on a video on how to transfer data from one iPad to the other iPad with VoiceOver enabled.
Yeah, you just put them side by side.
That was the video I was doing.
Oh, okay.
But before you called me.
Well, in my defense, I did not know you were going to actually do it.
I basically had to do, because I was in the middle of the process, I need to refresh the whole iPad and start over again.
It's all my fault. Always my fault. But
it's my fault because I didn't put me on
yeah, see, okay, it's your fault. Perfect. But no, over here, there's not much new. Well, yes, sorry, there are a couple of things new. Well, I decided after a while to pull the trigger, and I bought a new audio interface. I was using before, when we first started way back when, I was using the first one I got, which was recommended by our good friend Randy, was the Yamaha MG10 XU. And I love that mixer for a while, but I wanted to have the ability to mute and unmute and have faders. I like those faders. And so I eventually landed on, I upgraded to the Yamaha MG10 XU-F, which is the exact same thing as what I've got, same inputs, except it had faders, it had the on-off switch for each input, and it was great. Last time we recorded, I tried to record an episode with Randy on accessibility moving forward. We have an episode coming down the pipeline, so people, please be patient. We have something coming your way. The audio was really crappy on Clean Feed. I don't know what was going on. I don't know what happened. And I was like, you know what? I've been meaning to buy this new interface to give it a shot. And I said, what the heck? Let's pull the trigger. Let's buy it. So I went ahead and I bought the Focusrite Vocaster 2, and it's much smaller than my Yamaha mixer. I put my old the XU-F away. I'm actually selling the XU to a friend of mine. I got a buddy of mine who's a DJ. I told him if he knew anybody. He said, oh, I'd be glad to take it. So I'm like, all right, it's yours. So he's buying it off of me. I'm still keeping the one I had before with the faders. But now I've got this tiny little input interface. It's a Focusrite Vocaster 2. I'm actually using the microphone with no cloud lifter. This is just straight up the mic into the input. And yeah, I've been playing with the settings, trying to get everything working. It took me a while because I kept recording stuff and my JAWS kept being included in the recording. And I was like, how the heck do I configure this? And I eventually got it right. So now when I use my JAWS, you won't hear it in the recording. And it is smaller compared to what I had before. It's like, I'd say it's maybe about, 1/4 the size of my old one. So it's very small. And yeah, I've been playing around with the enhancements and the auto gain, and we were playing with that just before, trying to get the gain right, and turned out apparently the enhancements are better off than they are on. So now there's no extra compression going on, which is great. And I'm liking it. The only thing that I find weird, and maybe some people know how to do this, those who have one, I'm having issues with the live monitoring. Apparently, it's supposed to be able to hear yourself. And I kind of hear myself now, but it's still kind of low. I guess because I'm so used to the Yamaha mixer where I could adjust the level of my master volume. And I've checked in the Hub app, which Focusrite has made it more accessible, because Jonathan Mosen did bring this up a while back ago. He was testing it out for Focusrite, and he said the Vocaster Hub software was not accessible, that you had to use the touch cursor with JAWS in order to navigate. But Focusrite has updated the software. Now you can tab through it easily. You can get to each. Apparently, there's some scripts you can download from Harjan Consulting, which has some scripts for the hub. Although I don't know, like apparently you have like shortcuts. You can quickly get to each part of the window much faster with those those scripts. But I'm not sure if they've incorporated that in the software by default or if you still need the scripts for those keyboard shortcuts. But yeah, it's working. So far it's working well. I'm liking it. It's a bit more simple. I'm kind of like still drawn to my Yamaha mixer, but I decided I'll give this one a shot just to see if it works out better, if my audio sounds better. And yeah, hope it works out good this way. And yeah, other than that, next on the list we have, so this is going to be a short one because I wanted to talk about this last episode, but I hadn't bought one yet, and I decided not too long ago to say, screw it. I was talking to a friend of mine, and it came. So the thing I'm talking about is the all-terrain cane from Aware Wolf Gear. And I was tempted to buy it for a while because I listened to the podcast from, Blind Abilities with Jeff Thompson. And I also listened to the Double Tap Canada. Stephen Scott had done an interview with, I keep forgetting the gentleman's name, though. I think it's Jeff Einstein, I don't know, Epstein or something. I apologize if I scrapped his name, but he is the creator of the all-terrain cane. And it seemed interesting. Basically what it is, it's a white cane. It is made out of titanium, stainless steel joints. It's got a roller bolt tip at the end. It's not your traditional hook tip either. It's one of those push tips that you just push it into it, and it like holds in place. But one thing that he touted is that this is more heavy duty. You can actually use it to hike with. You can put your weight on it, and it supports your weight. But one thing that I was actually interested in is that the handle, instead of being your typical 8 or 9 inch handle on your typical graphite cane, it is more of a softer material, but it's a 16-inch handle, and you have a flip lock at the bottom. You can adjust the cane from 51 inches in length to 61 inches in length. So if you want to try out longer cane, you can adjust the handle, make it longer or make it shorter, whatever you want. And so I actually was looking at the website, and the website had it for about $120 American. And it was $50 shipping American. And looking at the exchange rate, it was going to be pretty expensive. So I happened to look on a day. I was talking to my friend, Kathleen, and we were talking about the white cane. And I was like, well, I wonder what does a graphite cane cost on average? I'm curious. So I went to the CNIB website, which is the Canadian National Institute for the Blind here in Canada. And I happened to go look at their web store and go to the cane section and accessories. And wouldn't you know it, the all-terrain cane was at the top of the list. I was like, they're selling it. Great, cool. So I was like, I was talking to my friend, I was talking to Kat, and he's like, should I buy it? I don't know, man. It's like, it was $150 Canadian, and it was like $16 shipping. I'm like, this is like going to cost me $166. I'm like, should I buy it? And she's like, well, if this is going to be useful, why not? So I blame her specifically because of her, I bought it. Sorry, Kat. But I bought the cane, and within about a couple of days, I got it. And it took me a while to figure out, because again, I've been using white canes, and this is going to show my age. For over 25 years, I've been using a white cane. I was using them when I was a teenager. I was using the aluminum canes, and I, about 4 or 5 years ago, upgraded to graphite canes, and they're a lot lighter. So I'm used to like the hook tip, your typical golf grip. And mine's a 58 inch length in cane, so it folds into 5 sections. And when I got this one, one thing that was confusing, I didn't know you could adjust the flip lock on it. It has like at the bottom of the handle, you have a lever. You can just pop it open, and then you can slide the handle up or down to adjust the length, but then you just snap it back and it locks the handle. And I was having issues where the handle was actually, if I put a lot of weight on it, the handle would slide down. And I was like, well, there's got to be a way of locking this, like tightening it. So I actually emailed the company saying, oh, here's a few suggestions, tweaks on how to improve the cane. You may want it to, make it a little bit tighter for the flip lock and so on. And how do you take the tip off? Because one thing I was having a hard time is the tip. It was not a hook tip. I'm like, how do I get this bloody thing off? I couldn't get it off. And yes, I know it sounds dirty, but sue me. But after a bit of exploring, I talked to my buddy Jeff at work, and he's like, well, check the flip lock. Sometimes you have a way of adjusting it yourself. And I look back and I'm like, dummy me, of course, there's a freaking knob, a screw head that you can tighten the lock. So I did that and that solved that problem. But the issue I had was the bloody tip. I couldn't take it off. And I didn't want to pull this too hard because this thing is $160. It's not a cheap cane. And the average price of a cane, which I found out, was about $70, $75 for a graphite cane. And I don't want to break this thing. So I was hesitant to pull on it. And I decided to reach out to the CNIB web store, spoke to a gentleman there. My apologies, I forgot his name. I'm horrible with names. But it turned out that I didn't realize this is a tip. You have these push tips. And I didn't know that's a thing. I always thought that when you have a tip, you have the hook tips. Basically what happens is, for those who are wondering, a white cane, you have a long elastic that goes through the handle all the way to the end. And when you can change the tip of the cane, you can have your pencil tip, you can have your marshmallow tip, you can have a roller tip, you can have all sorts of different tips that you can add. But the way of removing it is you just pull the tip off, the elastic comes out, and then the elastic has a sort of metal bar that pops out, and it kind of stops the elastic from going back in. And then you just take a new tip, you pop it in there, you hook it onto the end, you pull it, put that little metal bar back in, and you let it slide back in, and voila, you've changed your tip. Well, apparently I didn't realize these other tips, these push tips, existed. I never knew these things were a thing. So after talking with the Smart Life team, I found out apparently they had just gotten the cane. And apparently the day I happened to look on the site was the day they had published it on the site. So perfect timing. They published on the site. I happened to go on there, and from what I've heard, apparently I'm the first person to probably order the cane from the CIP store. So I've had it for a few weeks. So my thoughts are this: if you're going to go out in the outdoors and you need something to support you, it's a great cane. It's heavy compared to a graphite. I like lighter canes. So for me, my everyday cane is always going to be the graphite cane. I like the all-terrain, but it is heavy. I think it's 14.5 grams.
Is it heavier than the aluminum versions? I actually, believe it or not, I tried comparing the best I could the all-terrain with 2 graphite canes. And I found that the all-terrain was roughly about the same, maybe a little bit heavier than 2 graphites. And it was definitely heavier than an aluminum cane. I have an aluminum, and it was definitely heavier. But for what it is, I like it. Am I going to use it every day? I don't know. I actually, believe it or not, I've been using it for 2 weeks. And when I went back the other day to using my graphite cane, I was like, wow, this seems like a feather. It's like I barely even moved the cane, but I went back to, so maybe I'm getting used to the weight. But yeah, so people who are interested in this, is great. It is definitely a solid cane. It's tough. It will not, it's like I've been whacking this thing everywhere, and it's the tip has scratched up a bit, but the cane has withstood my punishment. So if you like to go in the outdoors and you need a cane for support for hiking, this is definitely the cane to go. If you just use it for all everyday use, then if you don't mind the weight, go for it. If you prefer lighter canes, then you're probably better off with a graphite cane. But I don't regret buying it. I love it. I might not use it every day, but I just wanted to check it out. The sacrifices I make for this podcast, I tell you. So, but you did good.
But yeah, what else do we have on the list here today?
We have Seeing AI indoor navigation. Now this is freaking cool. I added this to the list, I think. I was playing with it around, and I was going to make a YouTube video on it, and I'm getting my basement finished. So it's a new house. It's a 5-year-old house, and the basement, when you buy a new house, isn't finished.
No.
So there's always like some sort of banging going on, and I wanted to like do demonstration going down the stairs and everything, and it actually works really well. I did notice that the first time when I did it, I added markers and I closed the app and reopened it. The markers were like not exactly in the same spot.
Okay.
But I did the update and it fixed it. So now it actually works really well. So basically from my room, I put a marker from my room all the way to the front door of my house.
Yeah, we all know how you can get lost from your bedroom to your front door. That's a tricky one.
It's very, very hard, man. Trust me, man. I struggle with it all the time. No, I'm joking. Well, I mean, I'm not anywhere. If I was in the office, that'll be kind of cool.
No judgment. Whatever works.
Well, anyway, so just for test purposes, I did this. Okay. I I know how to get to my door. Anyway, so basically what you do is when you set up a starting point, what you have to do is actually scan your whole entire environment. So from in front of you, so you have to go from top to bottom, like from the ground to the ceiling, okay? And then you move right a little bit, top to bottom ceiling, move right basically in a circle.
So you gotta scan your room?
Not your whole entire room. Well, yeah, room or wherever your starting point is, because that it will pick it up from, if you like reopen the app and you want to like know from that location, it will automatically find it where it is, because it will like scan the measurements of the walls and what's there, what kind of doors and mirrors or whatever if you have. And it does a really good job, because I tried tricking it, because I do have a similar place that looks similar and in my house, and I couldn't trick it. So it knows where it's at, which is pretty cool. And I basically, what you do, you know how if you've like played racing games before and there's like checkpoints?
Oh, yeah.
That's what it is. So basically you're scanning your environment, and then you will walk to your next spot, wherever you wanted to stop, and press done recording. Okay, cool.
Okay.
The next time you go back and find that location, it will like, if you have headphones on, it will like play this sound in front of you. So you want to follow the sound, right? As you're following the sound, if you like move your phone towards the right, or if you turn towards the right, your the volume will come out of your right ear, so it'll tell you, hey, move to your right, and then make sure it's facing the straight direction, right? So you want to go that way, and then as you are walking, it'll make those checkpoint sounds as you pass them. So if there's a turn, if you're walking straight and the next checkpoint is on a turn, it will come out of your left ear, for example, and then you have to like follow that and follow it all the way down, and then once you get to your destination, it'll make like a chime sound.
So this is not something you need LiDAR for. This, any phone, from what I understood, can use this feature,
I think
right?
you need LiDAR for this. 'Cause you need to scan your environment.
Not from what I understood. From all the podcasts I listened to.
Could you try it on your phone?
I haven't tried. Honestly, I have the updated software. I just haven't tried it. It's not something I really use that much. I remember, because this sounds a lot like Clue, CLEW, which I used to love. I remember before the pandemic, when I was at the office, I actually was using Clue just to test around with it. But it sounds a lot like Clue. And again, all the podcasts I listened to that talked about this indoor navigation said that you do not need LiDAR to make it work. You can use it on any phone. LiDAR might be a little bit better to scan, but you don't need
test it and let me know, because I would like to know.
Yeah, well, from what I heard, it works on any phone. So I'll test it. One of these days, I'll get off my butt and do it. But from what I understood, like it's beneficial to have LiDAR, but it's not needed. You can do it without LiDAR. Because if I would need LiDAR, it wouldn't have showed up in the list of channels on Seeing AI, and then the World channel showing up there.
World does, but I don't know if that option
if you don't have LiDAR, the World doesn't show. But when I updated the software, now the World channel shows now. And when I go there, I can set it up. I haven't done it, but I can set up that indoor navigation thing.
Oh, so you do have the option. Okay.
Yeah, and I have an iPhone 11, which does not have LiDAR.
Cool.
So yeah, from what I understood, like this feature, you don't need LiDAR. It's beneficial to have it, but you don't need it to make this thing work. I'm guessing it might be a little bit more accurate, a bit more effective if you have LiDAR, but you can still do this without it. So.
Okay, test it out for me, because I would like to know.
I'll give it a shot one of these days.
Update us on the next episode.
We'll see how it goes. But yeah, so
that's too much to ask, man. Come on.
That sounds pretty good, actually. You know what? I will give it a shot. I haven't had a chance with everything going on with work,
do it.
But I will try to play around with it, because I know later on I'm looking at buying a new phone, so I look forward to actually having LiDAR. But I want to try it with my 11 while I still have it. But
I did buy my mom the iPhone 14 regular, so that one doesn't have.
again, if you want to send it to me, I'm trying to buy me a new phone. Just feel free. 14 Pro Max, 1 terabyte black. That'd be great. Just saying. But anyways,
I don't even have one.
anyways, next on the list we have something that's been talked a lot about lately: ChatGPT. Now, I know you have done some. Like I've actually had created an account back when it was first announced. I haven't played with it much. And then recently, I don't remember what I was doing. I was doing something, and I think I decided to go back and check it out. When we had a group meeting with friends last week, and one of our friends was actually using it during the call. Well, I should check this out. So I went back and I re-got my password, recreated my account, and I don't use this much, but it seems interesting. I know you've set it up with a shortcut, so you're able to use it. You can replace your Shlomo. And yes, for those who are wondering why I'm calling it Shlomo, I mean Siri. I don't want to say her name because I have HomePods in front of me. So as a refresher, those wondering, when we talk about the assistants, different speakers, instead of accidentally triggering them, we change it from Hey Shlomo for the Siri. We have Alyosha for Alexa, and then we have Hey Guillermo for Google. So that way, when we say the words, we don't trigger your speakers, and then we don't get complaints from you guys saying you triggered my speaker. So
or we don't trigger ours own.
I don't want to trigger my HomePods right in front of me. But so I know that with Shlomo you can create. There's a shortcut you can trigger it. So when you trigger Shlomo, it actually does go to ChatGPT. So how is that? So you've had that for a while. How do you think about that? I'm assuming that makes Shlomo a lot smarter.
Oh yeah, because you know how if you ask a question like how tall is the CN Tower, for example, it will give you the number, the thing you're looking for, which is awesome. I wish it does that for all answers, but sometimes you ask a question,
ask me again on your phone and I'll give you the results. I'm like, just read the first result, dummy. Come on.
On the HomePod it does, but on the phone it will just give you a list of different links. Yeah. Right?
Well, depending on the question, it will tell you the answer, and then you'll ask the same question again, and they'll say, here are the results, what I found. I'm like, why?
So actually, I'll tell you something else. If you don't have voiceover enabled, and you ask it, like, let's say, how tall is the CN Tower, it'll say, here you go. And it doesn't tell me the actual number because it can see that I can, I have voice or I have the phone in front of me, right? But what I have to say is, hey, Shlomo, and I almost said it out. Anyway, I have to say, hey Shlomo, to actually get it to read it to me, or I have to have voiceover enabled for it to get it to read to me. So I added a shortcut. I will do a YouTube video on this, actually, and that way I will link that shortcut in the description. You have to have an account with ChatGPT, and there's a code that you will get, and you have to copy and paste that into. You basically have to edit the shortcut. So if you're comfortable with editing the shortcut, do this. If you're not, then you just use a regular website, I guess. But I can just say, I can wake up Siri, and I have it just say Siri. That's my shortcut phrase, Siri. So whenever I say Siri, she'll always say, how can I help you? And then I can say whatever I want. I can say, write me a 5-paragraph essay on dogs. And then it will.
I hope you use that for school to cheat and have your assistant create your essays.
See, ChatGPT, what is it called? Came out after I graduated, which kind of
so you can't use that. You can't. See,
well, it's okay. I use my brain. So, but now it does come in handy for even the coding and stuff. So,
you have a brain? I didn't know that.
I don't. It's whatever kind of brain I have. It's all mushy and.
I know. Trust me, when you get my age, it gets even more mushier.
It does. So.
you don't remember stuff.
Don't scare me right now, man. I want to.
But all right, so. Yeah, let's know more about what you think about it. I've been playing with it a little bit, not much. You seem to be playing a lot more with it.
It's awesome.
It's definitely making the rounds. People are talking a lot about it. Apparently now Microsoft has incorporated this into Bing, which is pretty interesting. Apparently it's going to come into Microsoft Windows as well. When they, I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see what happens. But it'd be kind of cool.
I was listening to Yeah, I was yeah, I was actually listening to MKBHD's podcast Waveform, and they actually got ChatGTP to give the wrong answer.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so I think
What is 2 plus 2?
Some
20.
people like so on his team, they got asked it some weird questions, and they asked it like I can't remember what kind of phrase they exactly used, but he basically asked what is the best iPhone right now, and it said the 7 Plus.
Oh my goodness. Wow, that is like way out there, man. I think the 14 Pro Max might be the best one right now.
Yeah. So you don't want to trust it. Still, I mean, it still has like Google,
Yeah.
same with Google, right? It's still the internet, so you don't want to trust it 100%. So,
anyways, next on the list, we have this is something I heard the other day. I think it was on Double Tap. Apparently, YouTube is looking at incorporating multi-track videos. Now, you might say, well,
what do you mean by that?
Well, when you watch a movie or a TV show, it usually has English, it has French, it has German or Italian or Espanol or Spanish. Like, you'll have different language tracks, but which doesn't really matter for most of us who are blind. But for what does matter is that with these multi-tracks, you can also have an English audio described track. So you can turn that on, like most of streaming platforms like Netflix or Apple TV Plus or Disney Plus. When you're streaming something, you can go into your audio track settings and you can look for a descriptive audio track. And once you've set it, like for me on Disney and Apple TV Plus and everything, I've gone there and I've played a video, I've selected the tracks, I've selected English AD, and then now every time I watch something that has descriptive audio, it'll automatically default to that track. If it doesn't, it just goes to English. Now, what's nice about this with YouTube is that this is something that could potentially happen with YouTube, is having a descriptive audio track on YouTube videos. If they add this multi-track thing, which would be kind of cool. So, that could be something that YouTubers could possibly even add to their videos.
That's what I think. I think that's how it works, because I don't know if you heard of a YouTuber.
I'm not big on YouTubers. I have quite a few. I got too many YouTubers to listen to. Like,
I have over 100. It's crazy.
Oh jeez.
Yeah, I know. I need to clear my. But anyway, it's oh no, I can't remember his name. Shoot. Why can't I not have? He has like so many. Like, he has millions and millions of subscribers. Oh well, it's not coming. It will come back to me later on, and I'll mention it. But anyway,
it's all coming back to you now. Like what Celine Dion was gonna say. It's all coming back to me now. Sorry. Anyways, there's my singing for the day. But no, I'm looking for. I'm hoping if they add this, that it's gonna start. YouTubers are gonna implement this. Okay, who is it?
It's Mr. Beast.
Mr. Beast. Okay, for a second I thought you said Mr. Bean. I was gonna say, that's really Rowan Atkinson has a YouTube channel.
No, it's Mr. Beast.
Okay,
and he did something for the blind.
Is he hairy? Is he? Does he look like a beast or something? Or
no. He does some crazy videos and gives out insane amount of money to people.
Really? Oh, okay. Send me the link because I want to check that out. If he gives insane amount of money, I want that YouTube channel so I can subscribe to it.
You have to like be in his inner
circle.
If he like selects you, you have to be like competing with other people. So basically, he got like 100 people. I think there was, I don't know if it was 100 or even more, on a airplane, and they said keep one hand on it and you cannot get out of the circle. He like drew a circle.
Okay.
And the last person who is holding leaves their hand on it, will take the jet.
Okay.
That's their jet. But he has like, I don't know, like about like 100 cameras around the whole entire thing. So as soon as anyone falls asleep or whatever and takes off their hand, right away they're out.
Oh my goodness.
There's some crazy different challenges that he does.
Check out Mr. Beast and subscribe to his channel. I'll check him out because I'm always looking for new channels.
Sure.
I got quite a few.
And then he's actually working on getting those people to like describe in different languages.
Oh, nice.
So
hopefully that's something that I would hope that YouTube does it. That'd be awesome. I'm guessing it would be up to the YouTuber to decide and create the track and put it on there. Although you never know. With nowadays, what we talked about last month about the Apple AI voices, I'm like, that's something else that could be. Like, so that's another thing I actually heard about is 11 Labs, which does artificial AI voices. And for a while, you were able to actually bring in your own recording of like a minute and have a artificial voice of you. They took that away now. Unfortunately, you have to pay for have that your own tracks. But I actually looked at it. I'm like, oh, I have to pay for it now. I'm like, that sucks. But AI voices is getting kind of creepy nowadays.
There are so many websites out there already that can clone your voice, and you only need to give it like 5 minutes of your voice. That's it.
That's creepy.
I know. It's crazy.
But last thing on the list, this is something I actually noticed yesterday or the day before. I actually read this on, I think it was iMore or Mobile Syrup. Apparently, and this, I really hope this happens because it'd be awesome, and I hope it's accessible. Apparently, Windows 11, there's going to be an update down the road that will, first of all, on Windows 11, or I think Windows 10, you also have this. You have an app called Phone Link. It's an app on Windows, and you can connect your Android phone to it, and you can control your phone. I think you can respond to text messages. You can make phone calls through this app and everything, and it's always just been Android. Well, I heard, again, from iMore and Mobile Syrup, which is wonderful. Mobile Syrup, if you're curious, that's more of a Canadian phone and tablet and computer tech blog, which is awesome. I read them all the time. Their articles are really awesome. But they had an article that I think the next update for Windows 11, the Phone Link app, and I'm not too sure the exact version, but apparently the next version of the Phone Link app and with the next version of Windows 11 will have iOS support. So you'll be able to connect your iPhone to your computer, respond to your text messages, make phone calls, and get notifications from your phone directly on your Windows laptop. That's so cool. I'm like, this is going to be sweet. Because right now I'm using WhatsApp for messaging. And it'd be nice when I get text messages from friends that I could easily just respond to my computer. If I'm on my computer, I can just respond to the iMessage that way. And that would be awesome if that worked.
Right now, I think it's only text, right? There's no images, no...
I can't do nothing with the phone. Like I plug it in, I just use it to back it up, but I can't control my iPhone with my Windows laptop.
No. I mean, with that feature right now, I think you can only send text. There's no...
I don't know. I've never tried with my... I don't have an Android phone, a personal one to try. But from what I read, apparently you'll be able to send and receive messages. But I think you connect your phone via Bluetooth. We're doing this late in the evening, so I'm tired. So you can connect your phone via Bluetooth, and it's all done through Bluetooth. So from what I understood, all your notifications will come through to your Windows laptop. You can send and receive messages through iMessage. You can make phone calls, and that's whatever. There might be more functionality with the app, but it's also they're making more. They're integrating the iPhone more with Windows, which is I like. Like for example, iTunes. I have iTunes right now, but apparently they upgraded the software. Now you have a music, Apple Music. You have Apple TV, and I think you have another one that's called Mobile Devices. And they kind of took iTunes and split it into 3 different apps. So you have your mobile. I think your mobile device app is like, here's how you sync and back up your computer. Then it connects to your Apple TV, which has your videos, and your Apple Music, which has all your music library if you have it on your phone. So I haven't done that yet. I've kept with iTunes for now, but that is coming down the pipeline. Hopefully it's accessible. Cool. It works. But it looks like they're adding more and more iOS integration to Windows, which is awesome because I didn't hate my Mac. I had a Mac for 5 years. I loved it, but I hate it. One, keyboard, I did not like. I thought I was going to be okay with it, and it had the butterfly keys. It was a 2017 MacBook Pro, and I had an external keyboard because I'm like, after a while, I can't stand this bloody butterfly key. I hate these keys. Not enough travel. Yeah. But with the external keyboard, I had the Logitech MX keys. I love this keyboard. It worked great for my Mac. But it's just for me interacting and navigating the Mac OS, interact, uninteract, it was just like, it was finger gymnastics, man. You got to press 3-4 keys to go left, right, interact. And I'm like, you know what? I'm way more productive on Windows. That's why last year I decided I'm leaving Mac and I'm going back to Windows. And that's why I got myself a Windows laptop instead. And I don't use it every day, unfortunately. When I was maybe your age, I was on the computer like 24/7 doing all sorts of crazy stuff. But now that I'm older, I spend my entire day on during work on my computer and my work computer, and then by the time I'm done, I boot everything off and I don't use it unless if we're recording a podcast or we're playing card games online, or if I'm doing some editing in Reaper, then I might boot up my computer. But for the most part, it's just once these things are powered off, I don't touch them until the next morning.
You editing on Reaper? What?
Yeah, well, I haven't. Stop being a smartass. So the reason why he's saying this comment is because before I used to do the editing for the podcast, but somebody was saying I'm taking too darn long to edit. It took me 2 to 3 weeks, but what you have to understand is I have a full-time job. I am busy. I don't have time to spend the day editing a podcast. So I have to do it at night, and I'm old. So for me, sorry, I'm not that old because I can just hear my friend Kat give me shit. You're not old. No, I'm not that old. I'm only in my 40s. But for me, it's like, I don't know, man. I have to be motivated to boot up my computer and start editing. If I'm not in the mood to do it, I won't boot it up. I have to force myself. You're young. You're in your early 20s. You're young. You got plenty of time. And like for me, it takes me on average maybe 2 to 3 weeks to edit something. But again, our podcasts are like 2-3 hours long. It takes forever. And there's a lot of ums and stuff like that I got to cut off, which is a pain in the butt. But it's. You were complaining that, dude, you're taking too long. I'm like, fine. You don't like it? You bloody do the editing. So, and you take 2 days to do it, while I used to take 2 weeks. So that's why, he said that remark is that, yes, I do have Reaper. I do occasionally use it, not as much anymore. I'm playing more with the Vocaster 2 with Reaper because it has ASIO drivers. So I can actually select specific inputs of the interface onto a specific track. But I'm liking it. I do like using Reaper. It's really accessible with the Osara plugin and so on.
You did do a really good job with your solo episode there.
I'm still waiting for you to do your own solo episode. But it's if I need to do something like that, at least I know I can do the audio. Like, unfortunately, I'm kind of forgot a lot of the commands. I have to bug our buddy Jacob because I haven't edited in a while, and because I was in the middle of getting a new computer. It was several months before I got my new computer, so I kind of stopped editing for a while. And then when I finally got my laptop and I had it installed, then it's like, oh, how do I do this again? I forgot some of the commands. So I've been when I'm gonna get back into the feel of editing, I'm probably gonna reach out to our buddy Jacob and say, hey, how do you do this again? Because I kind of forgot. And I also use NVDA with it because apparently NVDA, I have the scripts for JAWS for Reaper, but Reaper works a little bit better with NVDA. So, but no, it's no, that's pretty much it so far. Anything else you want to talk about or add or?
No, I think that was short and sweet.
All right. So it's probably an hour and a half episode now, but anybody. So yeah, if you guys want to reach us, if you have questions or comments or any feedback, you want to give us, praise us, our wonderful voices, our audio quality, our funniness, our creativity, anything you want to, if you just want to say, hey, how's it going? Or I hate your show, or I love your show, whatever. You can either reach us via email at ibitespodcast@gmail.com. Or you can even call us now. And let me just help me here with the number. It is 317 934 4334. Is that right? Yep. All right. So so you want to repeat that number?
Yeah, I'll say it again. So it's 317 934 4334.
Yes, you can give us a call, leave a voicemail. We may play your voicemail in the next episode of the podcast. We never know. Or you can also visit our website. You can go to it's ibytes.ca. You can go there. You can. I think we still. I don't think you've actually fixed the accessibility issues, but you can. I think we upload our new episodes there. We have a contact if you want to reach. You can also reach us that way as well. You can fill out the contact form there and send us an email that way. You can also follow us now. Twitter. That's another thing. Are we going to stay on Twitter? Because I don't know. Given everything that's going on with Twitter nowadays and Elon Musk, like I jumped ship and left, and I'm glad I did. I'm now on Mastodon.
There was a little bit. I believe Mr. Beast actually asked Elon if he could take over Twitter if he whenever he doesn't want to, or if he happens to pass away? He asked that question to him, and he said, "Yeah, for sure." So
all right. So, but we are still on Twitter. You can reach us at iBytes Podcast on there as well. No news on Mastodon account. We're still mulling it over. If you want, you can find. I don't know. Do you remember your account on Mastodon?
No.
No. Okay. Well. I remember mine. So if you are interested in reaching or following me on Mastodon, you can find me at That Blind Canuck. That is ThatBlindCanuck at dragonscave.space. Again, that is at That Blind Canuck at dragonscave.space. That's where I am on Mastodon. You can find me there. I occasionally post stuff, not always, but I'm not a big social network guy. I just occasionally will post funny memes or whatever. But you can find me on there. And like I said, you can find us on Twitter, and you can also find us on YouTube when we eventually do have YouTube videos. You can find us there.
I mean, I do have YouTube videos there. I do publish a video version of this.
Okay.
And the only video, if you're curious, is basically our logo looping back and forth throughout the whole episode.
But yeah, you can find us on YouTube at iBytes, so that's pretty easy to find. And yeah, keep an eye on all of our social networks and check us out there. And I'm trying to find something funny to say, but it didn't work. But yeah, you can. So yeah, you can reach us anyway. We'll have all this information in the show notes as well. So if you forgot what I said or didn't care, you can go on these show notes and read it there and follow us that way. But yeah, anything you want to add, or we're good to go? Or
no, I think we can
wrap this puppy up.
Yeah.
Sorry, no puppies were harmed in the making of this podcast. Please don't. We didn't hurt any dogs.
No violence.
No. But yeah, thank you for joining us again. Hope you guys have a wonderful evening.